Learning to write is one of the important milestones in a child's development. The key focus of a child's education always remains on the clearly written words and sentences. If you are worried about your child's handwriting, then this video is definitely going to be for you. Hello and welcome once again to Valka's Space. Today this video is specifically about dysgraphia, a special kind of learning disability, where the writing pattern of a child is severely affected. In every child life, almost every other child faces problem while writing. In the initial years specifically, we cannot, expect a child to write very legibly in the initial years. The words are almost, unclear, distorted. There are mirror images often formed while writing. But if this pattern occurs consistently for years, say beyond class 1 or 2, then definitely your child needs special attention. Dysgraphia is basically the problem with writing. It's not just writing or spelling or writing neatly, it's also about organizing and planning on a paper. How the thoughts are transferred on the paper is particularly seen in a dysgraphic child. Basically, there is a problem with transcription. The main symptom of dysgraphia is messy handwriting. Obviously, messy handwriting can be in any case. Any person, every other person can have messy handwriting. But in addition to this messy handwriting symptom, there are other signs also. Like there is a problem with formation of letters, sizing of letters, spaces between the letters. Like a child, often starts from the one point and gets confused where to go. Like he cannot go from left to right like a normal child goes, writing in a straight line. Like you can see, like the child, often arranges the letter up and down on the line. He or she actually cannot plan. The grip, the pencil grip, the most important part of the preschool years, where every preschool teacher focuses on, is this pencil grip, the very important skill that is needed to have good handwriting. This is not developed. The fine motor skills are actually not developed. This is one of the reasons. And other symptom is fatigued. A child gets tired while writing. He cannot write for long, say continuously for even 2 minutes, because the muscles are not strengthened. So transferring your thoughts from your brain to paper is difficult for a dysgraphic child. The dysgraphic individual can speak well when it comes to expressing your thoughts in a spoken language. He or she is extremely well in many cases. But when it comes to transferring the thoughts from brain to paper, it's just head to hand processing is basically not very good. We can say it's poor. So dysgraphia is about visual perception, the language things. So everything combines and gives the problem of dysgraphia in an individual. Again, it is suggested to have a proper diagnostic test for dysgraphia before arriving at a solution. This dysgraphic condition is not dependent on intelligence level of the child like all other learning disabilities. In my first video of this series, I very clearly mentioned that learning disability is not dependent upon intelligence level of the child. If you will take the IQ test of a child, the child will have an average or above average intelligence. Similarly, dysgraphia, kind of learning disability, it is also independent of the intelligence level of the child. So it is all about visual processing, the visual perception, and transferring the thoughts from head to paper, from brain to the paper. Now let us understand a bit more about it. Let's dive deeper. When we write, what happens is, see, you must have not paid attention to this fact also, that while writing we don't even think. Now let us understand the process of writing in general. First is visual part. We see something in front of us, we hold a pencil and we have an idea of the font we are going to write. the size we are going to write, the paper is in front of us, and we have the idea of spaces, how much space is left. So we don't have to put a stress on our brain ki where to write and how to write and where to start and where to end. Individuals with dysgraphia have this problem. So basically there is a problem of connections. We don't have to remember all these things every time, like we have to take care of font, we have to take care of the spacing, unless and until we are writing very formal thing or something written in the calligraphic form that is to be presented somewhere. Casually, normally we write like this only. We don't have to remember everything every time. So this is all about connections, how our connections are made. We have left hemisphere and right hemisphere. The brain has two parts, but these two parts are divided. These have a common corpus callosum, which joins both the hemispheres, which connects both the hemispheres, and this connection makes everything easy for us. So stronger the connections, easier are the things for us. Stronger the connections between right hemisphere and this left hemisphere. We all know that one is the logical part, it deals with the abstract, one deals with the abstract thinking and all, and musical part, artistic part, everything is controlled by these two hemispheres respectively. So when we write, both the things are involved. Abstract is like we think, and concrete is we put the thoughts on paper. So this is all about the connections between these hemispheres. The connection, so dysgraphia has something to do with this connection. So what happens is, when the connections are not that strong, it becomes a task to write. It is like a war for dysgraphic child to write something on paper. It is very difficult for dysgraphic children to copy the things, like in the classroom when the teacher is writing on something on board, the students in the classroom are expected to copy, but dysgraphic children are not able to copy the things as fast as other students can. That means these students write very slowly as compared to other children. One thing more, if you'll ask these individuals to check what they have written, like we always review the things, we always review something written on the papers, we always recheck, but these children cannot review their own work also. These children cannot recheck because the writing is poorly written. It's so illegible that they themselves cannot read that language. So this is the problem with dysgraphia. Though dysgraphia is not identified commonly, it occurs, but it is not diagnosed properly. That is why the children with dysgraphia are not intervened at proper time. But the good news is that dysgraphia can be managed effectively. No medications are required. Actually, there is nothing like medication is required for dysgraphia. But yes, this dysgraphia can be managed, and the children can have a normal life with a little effort of strengthening the fine motor skills and all. Yes, in this age of computer, the handwriting part is not considered that important, but still it has some place in the education system. It has some place, it has something to do with the brains, so it is important to have at least the legible handwriting. So good news, this is a good news that this problem can be managed effectively with little of accommodations in the school and very effective intervention by specialized teacher. That means these children need some specialized instructions. So this was all about some background, little about dysgraphia, the basic of dysgraphia. Thank you so much for your time. In the next video, I'll take up how to manage this dysgraphia and how to apply simplest of techniques to improve the fine motor skills, improve the handwriting skills of dysgraphic children. Please do not forget to give a thumbs up if you have liked the channel. Subscribe to Alka Space for more and more informative videos. Do share these videos because the information is very useful for the people associated with education process. Thank you and have a nice day.